Hello, my name is Sean Trainer. I was on the studio from 2020 to 2022. My overall experience with the studio is very positive. It taught me a lot of things that I still use today. It taught me a lot about cameras and about lighting techniques and how to actually set up an interview properly and how to interview someone and be able to turn that into something that's easily digestible and very flowing and natural and make it seem as professional as possible.
I've been teaching video at Higley High School since 2007. Studio is the video production, TV broadcasting program at Higley High School. So we gave it the name The Studio back in 2007 because the show, our weekly show, didn't have a name. It was right when the TV show The Office was coming out. And so the very first show that we did was a parody on The Office like show opening, and so we did our show to kind of match that with the similar shots. And so right at the end of the intro it just said The Studio at the end, and that became the name of our show going forward. And then from that point forward, the school district, all the teachers on campus, superintendent, principal, all of these people started noticing that we were creating really awesome content, and my students started getting noticed. We started traveling to various states across the country. We went to Orlando, we went to San Francisco, we went to Seattle, and they started winning national awards for journalism and for film production. We got in the paper several times, so there was a real buzz about the things that my students were producing, and from there the studio just grew. Because it's a high school class, I try to stay away from political hot button topics. It is a journalism class, and so there is kind of a fine line there. You want to be able to allow students to tell the stories that they want to tell, but at the same time we have to make sure we're balancing that with I work for a school district and I have to make sure that I keep my job.
I think the studio has a lot of limitations when it comes to things we're able to do. Since we are in a high school, we're very limited on things that we're allowed to show because there are minors under there. So for example, I wanted to do a tattoo segment where we show the process of a tattoo and how some of it consider like an art form, and that was shut down because they didn't want to promote tattooing to minors. So I had to scrap that idea and come up with a new one, and that was a little bit disappointing. I feel like the hardest part about being editor was making sure everything flows together. There are projects from a bunch of people within the same class as me, and being able to make their projects all work together in order to like create a sort of like synchronization within the show was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. But over time it got a lot easier.
Milano, tell him to take the jacket off.
Oh, can you take off your jacket? It looks a bit weird in the shot.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like just working with the people who are making the projects and as well as the teacher, and being able to give myself a lot of freedom of creativity to make everything work together, and instead of limiting myself, sort of just allow myself to try things, and if they didn't work I could always just try something else, and it really allowed me to expand what I thought I could do as an editor into like more possible outcomes.
Our program has a lot of video production equipment, I would say more so than a lot of the high school programs in the East Valley or even across the state. Part of that is because I've been here for so long. Obviously there's a lot of money involved in order to buy video equipment. Video production equipment is not cheap, and there are grants that are available to programs like this. We have an outstanding Mac lab. We have top of the line cinema cameras. We also have top of the line DSLRs, photography cameras. So students get a top rate education as far as video production is concerned at Higley High School.
What's up, Knights?
To be a member of our TV broadcasting class, beyond just being a specific age, obviously you have to demonstrate that you're competent in certain video production skills. You need to be able to show me that you know how to tell an effective story. You have to be able to compose effective shots. So there's lots that goes into being a part of that class. It's very competitive. I usually have about 50 video production 2 students who want to get into the TV broadcasting class, and I got to narrow that down to about 25 students. So students work hard to show that they deserve to be in the class, and that makes it a lot of fun. It's a challenge to get into it. Kids work hard, and in the end, what they're able to produce, because the class is full of really talented students, we're able to really do some cool things.
Hey Knights, I'm Ken Peterson.
And I'm Connor Bosworth.
I think one of my favorite episodes of the studio was an intro I made on Cowboy Bebop. I remember that was something that took me a really long time, and I remember staying up really late trying to get it to look as perfect as I could, because I just wanted to show my capabilities as an editor and just show that I'm capable of doing something that I didn't think I was capable of doing. Just being able to finish the product and have the whole school see my work was something really cool, because I was able to show just how much hard work I put into it, and I think it turned out really great. My favorite memory from the studio was when we finished one of our shows in February, and we all decided to hang out afterwards, sort of like after show, hang out. And I just remember getting to know people in the studio a lot closer and be able to create friendships and just be able to find people that enjoyed the same stuff I did and be able to just grow not only as a person, but as an editor through the relationships I've gained meeting these people. So that's one of my favorite memories.
Bertuccio Farms, 40-acre family-owned farm.
No.
On Power Road.
Power Road.
Between Elliott and Warner.
The biggest challenge that I have as instructor of video production and TV broadcasting is probably, I would say, making students understand that they are capable of so much more than what they think that they are capable of. I hear the words a lot, Mr. Nuttall, is this good enough? That's a typical thing you hear from high school students, and my job is to make them understand that no, it's not good enough because you're capable of so much more. You need to do everything that you can to produce the highest quality work in everything that you do, not just in this program, but throughout life. That's kind of a pattern that I want them to develop, a habit that I want them to develop for the rest of their lives.
For people that want to get into video editing or just video production in general, you're not going to make your best work in the beginning, and you shouldn't expect to make your best work. I would say do the best you can and just try to find ways to improve on your work, because you're constantly going to be improving, and you're never going to be satisfied with what you do. And I think that's one of the main driving points that shoot people to success, is being able to not be satisfied with what you have and being able to come up with ways to improve on what you already have. And just be able to keep building and building up until you create work in the professional field where it looks like, you know, a team of people is working on it, when really it's just you on your own and all the things you've learned from previous projects just all together.
Well, Knights, that's all we got for you. From our crew to all of you, we hope you have a wonderful summer. The studio will return for one last episode next week as we celebrate our graduating class. You don't want to miss it. For Connor and I's last time, have a great weekend. Yes.